We're very excited to introduce to you Alex Abrahams. Before anyone speaks, I have something massive to say.
So basically, this year, only 2 teams are going down, according to Morgan's logic. He also is supporting, Crystal Palace.
Oh, what a kit. What a kit.
Leeds, you have to back the manager every time, and they didn't in that case. So Watford had no respect for
Brighton.
Did you hear what he said?
Yes,
this guy.
Aston Villa. It's a shocking question. That's a terrible, terrible question. Newcastle too. Who cares if you win this league, man? I couldn't care less.
And he is going to take on Alex in the no-name football game. I thought Alex was going to be an addition. It's looking like she might be a replacement at this rate. Hello everyone, wherever you are, welcome to another episode of the Footy Forum, and you're seeing 4 faces here, so you're probably thinking, do we have a guest? Who is this? What's going on? But actually, we're very excited to introduce to you Alex Abrahams, who will actually be joining us as a new podcast host. Can we have a little applause there for Alex? Thank you. Love it. Okay, so that kind of explains why this episode's called Introducing Alex. So I guess a good place to start would be to, in fact, introduce Alex. So Alex, tell us a bit about yourself, just very, very basic stuff, and we'll do a couple icebreakers as well.
All right, sounds good. Well, first of all, I just have to say that you've already got a check mark because you said my last name properly. And so many people say it wrong, so thank you for that.
How do you say that wrong?
I was gonna say.
How is this wrong? How is it?
People like to say Abrams, and it's not really that big of a deal, but I just don't understand why people are so lazy and skip like half of the letters.
That definitely sounds like a British thing. Yeah, Abrams.
That's British, 100%.
Yeah, which is confusing because it's from my British side of the family, from Bedford, England. But anyway.
Damn.
So
Bedford, big up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bedford.
So I'm from Canada originally. Lived here pretty much my whole life. Played soccer starting at the age of 2. My parents decided let's just start her early and put her with older kids. So I was playing under 4 when I was 2.5 or something like that. Played all the way up until I was 18, went to the States, played Division I soccer there, did the classic tear my ACL maneuver. So 3rd year ACL gone, 4th year ACL gone.
Wow.
So I ended up doing about 1.5 years of actually playing in university, aside from all the injury. But other than that, it was a good time. Growing up, I did Team Ontario. I did NTC, which is our National Training Center program. Before it was Rex. That's kind of my soccer bio, I guess. Always been kind of a midfielder, center back player. And now I'm coaching.
You're coaching, yeah. So tell us a bit more about that, and tell us as well about the Female Soccer Collective page. That's obviously how we discovered you. Awesome page. Just tell everyone a bit more about that as well. Yeah,
so I started coaching in 2019. I had stepped away from soccer for a few years. Didn't have a great experience with my university coach, and wasn't sure if I wanted to kind of stay in the soccer community. And then I kind of realized, you know what, I love the sport. I love soccer. I love football. So I thought, let's just go back to the club where I played my whole life, and I'll try and help them and guide them and be a good support and help them be set up and be prepared so that if they have kind of an coach, they can stand their ground. So I went there. I've been coaching U13 girls, U14 girls, U15 girls, and U17 girls over the past 2 years, all OPDL. For those of you that aren't living in Ontario, that probably doesn't mean much, but it's basically the highest level for youth soccer where we are. So I've been doing that. And this past year, as everyone knows, COVID happened and we were told we can't go on the field anymore. And I felt really bad for my players because our lives are playing the sport. So what do you do when you're locked up inside? And so I wanted to get them connected with people and keep them inspired and keep them motivated to keep pursuing the game. and recognize that there's opportunities for them and they have to grind. And if maybe there's some role models that they can find out there in the world of football, they can kind of keep grinding on their own and work towards something. So it started off as just kind of a fun thing that I was doing to pass the time, as well as stay connected with my players. And so I thought I'll just start this Instagram account and I'll just interview people I know, interview people that I played with, interview coaches I had, or strength and conditioning coaches, or like athletic trainers, and just talk to different people I knew in the community and see what information they had and get my girls to ask questions and get it being interactive. And wasn't expecting it to be anything, but clearly people really need online content right now because everyone's stuck inside. So people started following, people started sending me DMs and asking me, oh, can you interview this person? Can you reach out to this person? Can you ask these questions? I was getting like page-long emails from people about like things they really want to know. Can you please message this person? I want to talk to them. And so it was definitely like getting out of my own comfort zone and like learning a lot too, because you have to spam all these people online and hope they get back to you. And then you have to go and like interview them face to face. And so I just kind of started this new series where I want to just talk to female professional players, because I feel like there needs to be a bigger spotlight on those players and all the work they're putting in. So right now I started the first week of January and I've been going every Saturday since then. I just interview a different professional female soccer player from somewhere in the world. And it's been cool. I've gone to Mexico, France, Italy, Germany, Israel, England, tons of different countries all over the place. So it's been really cool to just see how the playing style is different in different countries, what the expectations are, what the training regimens are, and just talk about experiences. So yeah, it's Female Soccer Collective. And I guess basically it's just where people who love the sport can just kind of chat, share experiences, and hopefully connect with role models and have a positive space for people to talk about the sport. It's going well so far.
Awesome.
Good to hear.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Alex
it's good
Abrams.
stuff
Alex Abrams, everyone. That's unbelievable.
You're trying to piss her off.
No.
Straight on it.
Shocking.
Straight
That
on
is
it,
shocking.
my guy.
That when I was thinking about that, I was like, you can't mess that up.
Right. So a couple more questions. So who's like your kind of favorite footballer inspiration? Can be male, female.
Big question.
I have a male and a female, if I'm allowed to have two. But I don't. Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Okay,
We'll let it slide.
Let it slide. Okay. Thank you. So my favorite female player is Diana Matheson, and I don't know how many people have actually heard of her, but she plays for Team Canada. She's from my town and went to the same high school as me. A few years older than me, but I don't know. I've been obsessed with her playing style. She's just kind of like no fancy, just goes out, does the job, works hard, like grinds in the midfield.
Who's her club?
She is playing in the States right now with Kansas. I think she just got transferred to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But she's out with an injury, and she also tore her ACL the same time I tore my ACL. So it was kind of like a role model to look to on just keep pushing and keep working on it. So that was kind of like a personal, like role model that I looked to. And then when I was younger, I was absolutely obsessed with Sergio Ramos. And ever since
interesting answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of shocked people, and I brought this just to prove that I was a fan when I was younger.
Oh, what a kid! What a kid!
She's beautiful.
That is amazing. Wow.
I hated that it was pink, but
I think pink's the best bit about it. It's lovely.
Nah, pink is
a lovely shirt.
An underrated color.
It is. Agreed, Morgan. Agreed.
I love it now, but when I was younger, I was like, this is bullshit. The only women's cut shirt is in pink. Like, what if I wanted a different color? But
typical.
I love it. I love it. That shirt is so nice.
I just thought he was like, the thing I liked about him is he could go forwards and back. Like, he was a key defender, but he could get in the box and finish. And I just think it's so important to be a player that can go both directions. So that's why I liked him.
Nice.
and I did not.
It's incredible
Awesome.
the amount of goals he scored though as a central defender.
Yeah, he was a threat for sure.
Yeah. So.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So next one more, and then we're gonna put you on the hot chair in a minute. But if you were, let's say, you know, we love to ask this one. Let's say Trudeau gives you a little call. Say, Alex, is this Alex Abrams? Hopefully, he wouldn't say Abrams. But, so let's say Trudeau gives you a call, and he's like, "Yo, got some bad news, Alex. Listen, I got to step down. Something's come up. Alex, I need to step up. I need CPM. What is the first law you'd introduce?"
Okay, so this is like, there's no time limit on this. Like, it's not like a 24-hour thing.
Free reign.
Okay.
No.
It's a 24 hours. It's a 24 hours, right?
It's a 24-hour thing. Oh.
What do you mean?
I thought the thing was a 1 day as president. Was that not the question?
Yeah, I thought...
Well,
wait,
no,
is it like
permanently change the law? You can change your law.
Oh,
that
yeah,
stays.
okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I was like, I did my homework, and I watched, you know, when you were introducing Dan.
Oh.
And...
Oh, she's ready.
Oh, no. That means she's heard my answer.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said?
Yes,
This
I
guy.
did.
So, if you were prime minister for a day, what would you introduce as a new law? Your first thing.
Oh, interesting. Oh, geez. This is hard. This is so hard. I'd probably say like a really selfish one and be like, you can just like rob any shop that you want to rob. But it's so but like
that might be the worst answer we've heard.
I just want stuff for free, and I just want some free stuff. This comes up every episode. It needs to stop.
So
it needs this episode.
You're never gonna live it down. We just got you on.
I knew you were gonna ask this question.
Oh, my days.
I knew you were gonna ask this question. So this morning at breakfast, I'm like,
Prep.
Like, I don't know what I'm gonna say, and I'm not gonna have anything funny or ridiculous like Dan. And I brought it up at my table. And like my family at my table was like, who is this group that you're joining? Who are these people? Like,
questionable people.
Gross.
Just
bad
a
first impression.
Doing a podcast, really.
There's me saying that I want to rob a shop. That's not a good first impression to make. Like, that's terrible.
So not that. If I had like, I don't know which one to pick because I don't really have anything funny like that. But I would definitely, if I want to go all political, I would enforce a law that restricted premiers from mandating that all like hydro utilities, like all that kind of stuff gets privatized, because the situation in Texas right now is like insane and not acceptable. And like, shout out to everyone there that's freezing in their apartments, and it's like a really serious thing. Yeah. So if I wanted to like bring the mood down, that would be my law. But if I just want to like be light and have fun, I'd say we need to put funding into a women's CPL league in Canada.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
let's just talk about the first one there, because that's probably the most like competent answer we've ever gotten.
So, you know, obviously we do CPL as well, and Dan doesn't know what's going on, but I've got York United that are my team. Do you have a CPL team, by the way?
I'm a fan of the Hamilton Forge.
Oh, 3-on-1. Yes! Here we go. Boom.
Yeah, but if I had to pick a team where I'd actually want to live, it would be Pacific.
Whoa.
Where are they, Pacific?
On Vancouver Island. It's so beautiful.
You support Forge, but if you had to live somewhere in one of the cities, you wouldn't support Forge, which tells me that you're basically throwing a little bit of shade at Hamilton. So kind of explain a little bit more about that. From a obviously, you know, Ontario perspective. What's so bad about Hamilton?
Please.
You like tree? That's what you're telling me.
What's wrong? Nothing's wrong with Hamilton. I think Hamilton has a good music scene. They have a good art scene. I'm just more of like an outdoorsy kind of person. So I'm not trying to piss anyone off on episode 1 here.
Throwing shade on episode 1.
If that's your goal, you're failing miserably, because your fan seems pretty frustrated.
Listen, You guys, I look at you guys like saints. The only person that I always seem to be crossed with is Morgan. So that's you guys are good.
True.
You guys are
There
good.
is so
Wow.
much truth to that statement.
Okay.
You guys are good.
I think I just have a personality that just people just easily get pissed off. Like I could say hello and people just like get pissed off at me.
Yeah,
That's honestly how I feel sometimes.
Oh,
Okay.
Morgan, don't be like
No,
that.
Yo, Van, in your defense, it has less to do with Hamilton and more to do with Vancouver Island.
Yes, yeah. That's probably the best way of selling it because I think you can't argue with. I've actually never been there, so I don't know. I could just be talking about a little rubbish, but
Yeah, I
Big
think
on
I'm
I'd
sure
say
Vancouver's
understand.
nice. For
But
sure,
it's
that's
Vancouver
it.
Island.
That's it. So
It's not even like downtown. It's on the island. It's totally different.
It's on the island. I get it.
Yeah.
So that's the tree comment. That's the tree comment coming to life a little bit more. I see. Because in Hamilton,
yeah. And,
we actually do
and
have
I like
trees.
the ocean.
believe
I
it or
should have
not.
said the ocean.
I see.
Instead
I
of
see.
You
trees.
go on their
We actually
don't
do
have
have
an-
trees. Promise.
you
Trees,
have
we have
concrete
trees.
trees with lights on top of them.
That's it. Well,
Oh,
we don't
God.
have an ocean, so you got me there. No ocean, just a half oil,
No, if
half,
you go
half
on the-
water lake.
I have to admit though, like if you go on the Pacific website and you like, because all of them have their a story or they're like about us, get to know our club or get to know our history, whatever. And on the Pacific website, it's the corniest I've ever read. It's like,
Really?
oh my god.
Give,
First
give us a
beat, Morgan.
sneak peek. What's the sneak
Okay.
peek of Pacific Story?
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, okay. A
not
club
great.
that, like the ocean, intends to sculpt a new and exciting landscape, this time for the beautiful game in one of the world's most beautiful places, a team reflective of the island itself, attractive, rugged, and bubbling with the energy of an incoming wave.
That makes me feel physically
Oh
ill.
my days. Cringe. That
Bro,
is
if I could
shocking.
relate that to an English club, that would be something some Spurs would pull. Guarantee you. Guarantee you.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm going to start
That's
a
the
CFL
Tottenham-
team in Winnipeg and call them the Winnipeg Blankets because it's so cold in Winnipeg
Winnipeg.
that when I put a blanket on, I just feel so warm, and seeing them win just gives me this warmth that's the exact same, and it's just.
And you're
this
going to change the
euphoria.
game of soccer for the future generations by wrapping them all in blankets.
Blankets. Shocking.
Oh, fuck, this is
Okay,
jokes.
where were we? Hot seat. Okay, this is what we're going to do, Alex. Let's get to the point
Okay.
here. What we're going to do is, so my point with the CFL originally was that Dan had to pick up Forge. So what you're going to do right here, right now,
CPL.
I know for a fact that you don't have a Premier League team, but I know that you have a couple choices. You've got some family influence. You've got a
Yeah.
neighbour that's a West Ham fan, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot right here, right now, on your first episode of the Footy Forum. You're going to declare who your Premier League team are.
Do I not get a chance to sell Arsenal? Come on.
No,
not
no, we
picking
don't
up-
need another
Oh,
Arsenal
you
fan.
don't?
Shut your mouth.
No.
Shut your mouth. We don't
No.
need another Arsenal fan. So, Alex, what are we thinking?
It's not Arsenal, so
No, not Arsenal.
Is it between Chelsea and West Ham, or are there other factors?
No, it would be between City and West Ham, I guess.
So basically,
either team's not a
Win-
bad shout.
you're buying a stock when it's high. It's like you're
I-
joining the.
You know what?
Okay, I
Like,
like Pep, and I like the like work hard
Pep's out soon.
mentality. And I
Pep
like
will
the
be
work
gone
hard
soon.
mentality. I know, but if I'm picking right now, I'm gonna pick the staff and the players they have right now. I'm not a fortune teller.
yeah, true. But before you choose, let me just say, as a Leeds fan, okay, I enjoy. Look at this guy. As a Leeds fan, I enjoy the highs and lows. Right. West Ham, you're much more likely to get it. So, like, West Ham fans this season are going nuts because since they had that good year, what 5 years, maybe more, like, they have had
Yeah.
utter. So they're just going mental. So it means so much more. City fans are like, yeah, this is great. We want the Champions League, though. Like, imagine being that. Imagine being top of the league and they'll be like, yeah, it's all right. We want the Champions League. Like, what load of nonsense that is. Anyway, that's just my thought. My
Lol.
thoughts.
Yeah,
I
that's just
think-
a
I think I'm
small
gonna go-
club supporter talking.
I think I'm gonna go with West Ham because they are trying to make a team, not like fill a roster with superstars. And I respect that.
Yes.
There you go. That's the right approach, to be fair.
I love
So-
it. How about that?
I like that.
How about that? So Alex has declared her loyalty to West Ham United. Wow.
The
Yeah.
Hammers.
Good
The
choice.
Hammers.
This is-
I love that.
Yeah, and that's a shout out to Mr. Alan Laver. So
Shout out
my
Alan,
neighbor
wherever you are.
will be
in the
very
world.
pleased.
Oh, next door to Alex. There he is.
Yeah.
Next door neighbour, shout out.
Wherever you are, next
no one
door.
track me
Okay.
because I don't know if he wants me sharing his location, but my neighbor.
True. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we've done that bit. We've introduced Alex, so now you get a gist of the vibe, and you see why we think she'll fit in so well on this podcast. Next, as we do, we've done it once before. We're going to do it again. So we've turned it into the fans, the TFF community, to put in some questions that we're going to now answer. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first one comes from Mirren, from Watford in England. And he says, do you think Arsenal will ever win the league? Now, I think this question is an interesting one for Mirren because I think it's a hard one to answer because no one can predict.
Mirren, wait. Morgan. You've told us the question, and now it's up to us to interpret the question.
Okay.
First of all,
Yes.
Mirren,
Okay.
I don't know
Okay,
if
you go
anyone-
first, Jovan.
Mirren, well, I don't know where you're from, my friend.
Watford.
Thank you for obviously tuning in. We're from Watford, so now I know. That's a shocking question. That's a terrible question. So
Can we not
I mean,
hate on the
that's-
community? Like,
no,
they're
but
gonna leave us.
You gotta call a spade, right? Like, and that's a spade and a half. So, will Arsenal ever win the league? Yes, that's an easy answer. So it's and he didn't even specify in what time frame. So let me try to
Absolutely
specify.
dreadful, awful question from Mirren there.
You know what? I won't even like. To be honest with you, the question is yes, they will, and I can see them doing it within the next 10 years. Because anything can happen in 10 years, man.
yeah.
Leicester's won the league. I mean, I feel like at this rate, a West Ham could win the league. In the next
Leeds
10
could
years.
win the league in 10 years. Thank you very much. Don't you dare say
It's
true.
not
that.
gonna happen. Once Bielsa leaves, you guys are back in League Two.
Hey, I'll back that.
Oh my.
I'll back it.
Next
Alright,
question.
let's go.
Next question. Yeah, I don't think we needed to. I don't think Alex even needs to comment on that question. She stays silent, but in this one, I'm going to come to her first. So this one comes from Ross from Bournemouth in the UK, not far from Watford as well. Who do you think will win the championship? Now, we don't really cover the championship here on the Footy Forum too much. However, I think this will be an interesting one. I don't really know what your guys' thoughts are with the championship this year. I will hold my hands up and say I haven't been following it as much as I usually do, for obvious reasons, with Leeds now being in the Prem.
Obvious reasons.
So,
Yeah, of course.
Alex, I wouldn't imagine you follow the championship too much either, but having a little glance, what were your initial vibes on the championship?
Like, you've got Norwich, you've got Brentford, Watford, Swansea. Like, they're all kind of close to each other with points.
Who's
I'll go
jumping out at you? Watford. She thinks Watford. She's going to keep it local.
Don't say Watford.
Yeah.
Don't
No.
say Watford.
Okay, Dan, go on. You're up next then. Why not Watford?
Not Watford because I don't like Watford.
Okay.
That is
So-
shocking.
That's the reason.
Dan,
No,
Dan,
genuinely. Go on, Evan. You say.
I back you there. I've just been waiting to chime in on this because first of all, who's gonna win? If you're betting, like it's hard to say. Who knows? I mean, you really have to follow it a lot.
Obviously,
betting
who knows,
person
but
will
it's a
say
prediction. That's the whole point. Who do
Norwich.
you think?
The idea, I would put my money on Norwich, but that's just me obviously seeing that 7-point difference. But the point where I want to hone in is Watford. Massive shame on Watford. Obviously, their club they're not a real club in my opinion because they put individual players over the manager. They sacked Vladimir Ivic this season after he did a great job to start them off. I think he was there for a couple of months. He did a really good job, and obviously, club legend, was it Troy Deeney? Who was it?
Yep.
Was that?
Yeah, Deeney, yeah.
There was that internal conflict there, and they chose to side with the player over the manager.
Just-
and I don't care
that's
how
awful.
long this guy's been here. I know he's done a lot of stuff for Watford, but you have to back the manager every time, and they didn't in that case. So
Yeah.
Watford I have no respect for. I'm backing Reading because Veljko Paunovic is the manager there. He's having a tough time, but I hope he can get them up there. They're
They're
not
too
gonna
far
win the league,
behind. Yeah, no.
right? Hey,
No,
not to win the league.
I have Reading
I
as
don't
a
care.
dark horse.
Who
I have
cares
Reading
if
as a
you-
dark horse.
Who cares if you win this league, man? I couldn't care
Okay,
less. I just want to
But
get
you,
up the Premier
so
League.
do you
win
think
the
Reading
league,
can
who-
win the playoffs?
Why
Hey?
not? Of course they can, man. Of course they can. If Leeds can win it, anyone can win it.
But Leeds didn't win the playoffs. They won the
Lol.
league, mate.
No.
But they lost in the playoffs, right? Oh, that is true.
Many
They did
times.
lose the
Too many
playoffs.
times.
I just want-
Derby County.
Too many times to
Yeah.
count. Heartbreak. Right, your answers were all
It's better
terrible.
to win the league than the cup.
I didn't.
Okay,
Well,
the
I
only
didn't say who I was
reason
going was
can
going up.
defend- I think
Go on, Alex.
if I want to defend my answer, I would just say based on, because I don't follow it, so I have to just kind of base it on statistics and stuff I'm seeing, right? And if I look at Watford, they've got more draws than losses. If you're looking at Norwich, so people can pick up points that way, so they're not like just dropping points. And if you look at the last 5
Okay.
games, they have the best. They've got the best record for the past 5 games over the top 3 teams.
Okay,
so
good
that's
run.
why I made my decision.
That's an
So-
informed decision. That's an informed
Yeah,
decision.
so-
I
You
like
can't
it.
argue.
better than
you can't
what
argue with
Dan
objective
said.
stuff.
Yeah, better than what Dan
So-
said. Put it that way. I don't like Watford.
I didn't say a team that was going to go up. I
But-
just said that I didn't like Watford, but I haven't given
But
a winner.
I do respect the comment about not respecting the manager. That's just kind of just
100%.
says something
That
about
is a
just
good
says
comment.
something
Yeah.
about the franchise in general, and says stuff about direction they're going moving forward, and that can cause that's gonna affect who's attracted to the club moving forward. So I
Yeah.
think that's totally valid.
Watford
But if we
as
just
a
wanna
club
ma-
is a mess. It's a
Yeah,
mess.
but if we just want to
They
look
can't
at,
keep hold of a manager. That's their problem.
Yeah, and that's obviously because they have that culture where you don't respect the manager. So long term, I agree.
That's
I agree.
Right, Dan. I'm listening to before I absolutely rinse the lot of you, Dan.
Winner.
Yes, Dan, the winner of the championship.
Brentford.
Are you going to expand? Me.
Brentford because I don't think Norwich will keep their run going until the end of the season.
I
Brentford,
thought
yeah,
I thought Alex was going to be an addition. It's looking like she might be a replacement at this rate.
Bro, alright then, that's fine.
So listen, I'll always back. I know. Obviously, we're still on this topic, which I think who's gonna win the championship? You name me the last 5 teams that have won the championship. No one cares. People just care if you get up. It's another bad question.
Okay, but
let's talk about.
hold on. I let you all
Morgan.
speak. I
Morgan.
didn't get to give my answer. I know
Yeah,
you
but
hate me
who-
when I have something.
I cannot wait to address a few things that you've said. And over this weekend, I've been able to. I'm going to destroy you. But
I'm excited,
regards to
but in the
relegation.
meantime, can I answer
Okay,
this
just
question? Right.
Answer the question. Okay.
So
Who's
the
gonna
answer
win
for
your
me is
championship?
Norwich, and it's not just because they're top of the league. It's looking at their team, right?
That's what I said, right?
No, they've retained, right? A lot of their core, they've retained Tim Krul, Max Aarons, Tom Cantwell, Buendia, Pukki. They retained all their players. They bought Oliver Skip from Spurs, and they replaced, because they sold Jamal Lewis to Newcastle, and they replaced him, if I'm pronouncing it right, Giannoulis from the Greek Super League. He's done quite well. And remember, they made 40 mil. Lewis for 15 and Godfrey for 25 to Everton, who's been a great addition for Everton. So they made 40 mil. They haven't spent too much. And the other thing I was going to say as well is they're quite a well-balanced team. So what I mean by that is, and this is why I think Brentford's a stupid answer, Daniel, because Brentford have scored 56 goals, okay? That's 10 goals more than any other team. Goal-scoring machine. They've got Ivan Torre, who's just ridiculous this year. I think he's got 20-something goals and 9 assists. It's ridiculous.
I think
But
it's
anyway,
23 or 4 goals, yeah.
yeah, it's insane. But anyway, my point, 10 more goals than any other team, but they've conceded 34. Let me put that in context. Sheffield Wednesday, who are 23rd, second bottom, have conceded 32. So that kind of says it for
Jeez.
me. So
But
Norwich
Sheffield,
are in the-
whoa! That's really dangerous explanation. Sheffield Wednesday is second bottom. Why? and explain to everyone why they are?
Points
Because they had
deduction.
negative 10 points, yeah.
Because they started the league with negative 10 points. So you're basically just
Okay, but there's other
thing.
teams down. There's other. I could go and get you a team like 16th who also have less than 34 goals conceded. My point is they're like, I don't even know if they're in the top 10 in the league for goals against. They may be lower than that. So point is Norwich are top 5 for goals for, top 3 for goals against. So they're a balanced team. And the other thing, so that's kind of my reasons why. But I just want to say as well, like, Norwich have set a good blueprint, like when you think about Sheffield United, kind of their struggles, of how to bounce back if they need to, because they didn't invest in the window like Sheffield United didn't, but they've been able to retain almost all of their players. The ones they sold for good value, I think. They got a good amount of money back. They didn't just flog them.
Godfrey especially.
Godfrey, yeah.
Godfrey especially.
I think 25 mil, I think 20 mil is what I'd value him as. I think he's valued a bit less than that, like on transfer market or whatever. And Jamal Lewis as well, 50 mil. I think that was the opposite of a bargain. I think Newcastle paid too much for him, but they did well and they've retained most of their players. So I think they did a good job. And I think if Sheffield United want to do the same, that's kind of how you do it. And they've got 40 million now in the bank to, hopefully start investing, because what they failed to do. But also,
Sheffield United have got to look at Norwich.
If Norwich do go up, which I think, no, it's all good. If Norwich go up, which I think they will, they really, really, really have to invest, because they didn't invest last time they went up, and that's why they got fucked all season. So this year they have to invest and learn like their lessons from the past. But they've done a good job to retain their players, and now they just got to add to it really to become a competitive team in the Prem.
I think we're gonna have to add another team to Morgan's supporter list. That's unbelievable. It's either you just spent the last 48 hours in like massive analysis of Norwich, or that you're also supporting them as well. Which I wouldn't be surprised, because he also is supporting Leeds, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Aston Villa, Newcastle too.
Here we go. Next question. This is the big one. This is what I've been excited for. This next 5 minutes. Okay. This is from Elliot in Newcastle, and he's a great supporter, so shout out to Elliot. Okay. So, this is his question. I'll just read out the whole question. Bottom of the table is getting tasty for the neutrals, with Fulham picking up points, Palace in poor form, and Callum Wilson out for Newcastle. Do you think Newcastle have what it takes to stay up? Who do you think will finish 18th? Before anyone speaks, I have something massive to say. So I need everyone to buckle up. I have something really big to say. As you know, for about a month or two, someone's like, dim the lights, focus. Okay. For about a month or two, I've been saying that Sheffield United can stay up. But if you roll the tape... Look at Sheffield United, they're not a bad side. They're just not getting the results, and it's a confidence thing. Once they get that first win, it's going to unlock something. It's all just a confidence thing. And can they beat 10 teams in the Premier League? I would say yes.
Huge for Billy Sharp. Huge for Sheffield United. Who scores?
The Great Escape is on.
It is
on like Donkey Kong. I'm telling you, the Great Escape is happening.
Morgan is rattled by his beloved Sheffield United, guys. Breaking news on TFF here.
Let's go for it. You can do it. I believe in the Blades.
Oh, come on out.
Ring. Do you hear that? It's the phone ringing for you, Chris.
The Blades have done it again. They find the cutting edge and lead by 2 goals to 1.
I've said it all along. What have I said? They need to get a big win to lift the team's spirit.
It's possible. There's just no way.
I think that would probably be the most, in history, one of the most crazy escapes ever.
I had you laugh at me.
Hypocrisy. Stupid. That's what it is. It's stupid.
Okay. I've had Jovan laugh at me.
It's just a test of, whether it's just normal thinking or not. Obviously, Morgan doesn't have normal thinking.
I've had Matt Lockwood now laugh at me.
It's a good argument. It's a load of rubbish, but it's a good argument.
Yes!
I'm sorry, Morgan. I'm probably going to have to go with the guys and say they're not going to pull off those 6.
Another member to the Sheffield United are going down club. Welcome.
2 massive games. They have to get 6 points. If they want to stay up, not 4 points, 6 points against Fulham and West Brom.
And getting beyond Ampadu. Lookman blasts it through Ramsdale and scores a priceless useless goal for Fulham on the hour mark.
I said they have to beat West Brom and Fulham. And for those who are watching this at the time we're recording, just yesterday, Sheffield United lost to Fulham. So I, unfortunately, have had to hop off the train. And I'm afraid to announce that Sheffield United will be going into the Championship next season.
Okay.
Thank you, Morgan.
Let me do a Morgan methodology. Fulham will stay safe if they win most of their games till the end of the season. What kind of prediction is that? They will, obviously that's the case. If they win, they'll probably stay up. That's basically like putting your money in, but also making sure you get it back at the end of the bet. So, anyways, let's focus in on something that Morgan said time and time again this year. And he said 27 points. Then he said 29. Then he said 30 at the latest.
I said 30. I said 30.
No. There was times I don't care to look through the film, but I know that guaranteed you said 26 at a time, 27, and then 29 or 30.
Okay.
So
continue.
30 points is supposedly gonna get you safe. So in Morgan's world, so basically this year only 2 teams are going down according to Morgan's logic. Fulham, they'll be fine if Fulham pick up another, 2 wins, 2 draws. In the next, I think, 13 games they have, they'll be fine. So when Morgan's like, oh, this year is different. No, what do we say? Do you remember, Dan, what we said? 30, was it 35, 34?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we said.
Yeah, around that mark. Yeah, like 35-ish, yeah.
And I stand by that because I think Fulham is going to pick up at least another 12 points, at least.
Okay. I don't really care who stays up. I don't think Elliot does either. Elliot's question is, A, do Newcastle have enough to stay up? Because I'm guessing he's a Newcastle fan.
Yes.
We'll get that
and
answer,
then
but we can't just be talking nonsense the whole time. Time and time again, you're coming out with these stupid remarks like, oh, mate, 29 points will get you safe. No, that's not logical.
I want to hear from Alex right now.
Jovan was just going for the gold star. He got it.
Yeah, he can stick his gold star.
He proved you wrong.
That's it. No, that's. I just want to make sure Morgan doesn't talk anymore. But
I want to say that's big of you, Morgan, to admit that you had strayed from the path and you're accepting that you might have been off.
Exactly.
So
you got to own it. If you,
I'm not so sure. You were so bold. That he was gonna.
I'm brave, mate, but I stand by what I say.
Yeah, I respect it.
Anything I said, I was willing to put money on it.
Yeah, true.
I think I remember that episode, and you had a confidence when you were saying that.
Yeah, exactly.
I almost believed it with the confidence.
But I'm also let me say, Alex, I'm quite careful with what I say, right? If they beat Fulham, I would still be sitting here saying they can stay up. I said they had to beat West Brom and Fulham before you even think about winning other games, and they lost to Fulham. So obviously, I wasn't even wrong. What I said was they can stay up if they beat West Brom and Fulham, and they didn't. So therefore, they're going down.
Yeah.
Which is what I said. I didn't even say they can lose to West Brom or Fulham and still stay up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I think that's an important distinction because the point that they're in right now in the season, it's not beneficial to anyone to start trying to do the math and figure out what combination as a team or as a manager when you're trying to lead that group there's no benefit to coming up with some magic formula that if you do this and this and this and this adds up and you subtract this then we're gonna stay. It's your club has to just pick a weak point and make a point of it for the rest of the season to be we're focusing on this and the year is in the and we've accepted that
big time
and we're just gonna improve on somewhere on the field that needs improving.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. So with that being said, who do you think are going to finish 18th and why?
I think Burnley should be there.
You think Burnley? Okay. So you think, just to confirm, you think Fulham are going to do enough to stay safe and then Burnley will drop in?
No.
Not on the greatest form, to be fair. They just drew to West Brom yesterday. So I think it's a fair point.
Like, I don't necessarily think that's gonna happen, but I think that's how it should go because I have not been impressed with them as of late. And I feel like if they go down to 18, it might bruise the ego a little bit and like they might figure some stuff out.
Yeah.
Because I have not been like that game, like against Burnley and West Brom the other day. The most exciting thing was that red card. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, they do lack a bit creativity as well.
Yeah, and so I just struggle with them being like 15th where they are right now. I feel like they need something that's going to turn things around for them. But if I'm being realistic, like I think Fulham is definitely going to be 18th there.
Ooh, okay, so you don't think Fulham will stay up? Okay.
I don't think so, but
so Burnley's safe then for you.
So you want Burnley to go down, but you think Fulham won't do enough to stay up, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Dan?
I think 18th place will be Fulham purely because I think Newcastle have got enough and I think Brighton have enough. I diss Brighton, I'm not going to lie, I diss Brighton, but I think they do have enough to stay up, and I think Fulham have put a couple of good performances in. The one I noticed, I think they drew against Liverpool at Craven Cottage, and they actually looked really pretty decent. But I can't see Newcastle or Brighton, and as poor as Burnley have looked, building on your point, Alex. But I can't see them. It's Fulham, West Brom. I think this bottom three is going to stay the bottom three. I can't see it any other way.
Right.
Literally can't see it any other way.
Okay, so Fulham still have a bit of work to do. I looked at what teams in the top 7 and the bottom 7 that each one has to play. So Burnley, this is the concern for Burnley. So firstly, they haven't looked great recently. As you pointed out, terrible against a 10-man West Brom, who frankly deserve to, like, they play better than Burnley. Like, that's really poor. Like, it was shocking. Given that West Brom have a defence, shocking is the word. If West Brom have a defence that let in 4 or 5 goals like it's nothing, like against Arsenal and Leeds this season, like, to then not even put up anything against 10 men, West Brom, like, that's terrible, and that's a big concern. Sure. They only have 2 games left against the bottom teams, against Fulham and against Sheffield United. You can't say for sure they're going to win either of those. And then they have 5 games against the top 7. That's tough. Like, they could definitely be dropping points going on. They're in bad form already, but they could get... I think Burnley are in trouble. You know what I think about Brighton.
And Newcastle.
Yeah, well, we'll get to Newcastle. Let me just... I think Brighton will, do enough to stay up. I've said that all along. They've proven me right so far. They've gotten some big results recently.
They have.
They still have 5 of the top 7 as well to play, including Man City, Leicester, Man U. It's tough. So they got some tough games, but then they have 4 against the bottom teams. West Brom, Sheffield United, I can see them winning both of those. Newcastle, they'll win that, no doubt. And then Crystal Palace, which they could win if they play well.
There's no way they're going down.
Brighton aren't going down. I've stood by that.
Chance.
Jovan has wished that I was wrong and they'd be going down, but it's not happening. And then we get on to Newcastle, right? Newcastle, they have 10 games of their remaining, 14, 13 games. I think 13 against top 7 or bottom 7 sides. So West Brom, Brighton, Burnley, Sheffield United, Fulham. I'm not confident they're going to win any of those games because Newcastle, I just don't think that. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. They somehow, sometimes pull off results, but that's mostly been through Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson, right?
Exactly.
He's out right now. He scored 40% of their goals this year. He's got a third of their assists, and he's a striker, and he's got a third of their assists.
That's crazy numbers, though, for Callum Wilson, but bad for Newcastle. But
terrible.
Crazy for Callum Wilson.
Only one player this year scored more than 3 goals for them, Almiron.
Yeah. Mad.
That's bad.
And Joe Linton, the £40 million man, their record signing by a mile, okay? 3 goals and 3 assists this season. Okay, that's not awful. It's pretty bad, but 67 appearances for Newcastle, 7 goals and 7 assists. What is wrong with you? What are you doing, Joe? I wouldn't even pay 20 million for this guy. Man. This guy, he has not like. You're looking at Callum Wilson. He's done. Joe Linton. What are they gonna do? They don't have anything. I just don't see it. I'm sorry, I just don't. And 5 games against. Okay, can I add this as well? So they've got obviously Man U that's going on at the moment, from when we're filming this. But then they've got in a row. Listen to this: West Ham at home, Liverpool away, Arsenal away, Leicester away, Man City at home. 5 in a row. Good luck.
Wow.
Good luck.
Oh yeah.
They genuinely might go down.
Yeah,
Serious, they might go down.
Good luck. And I don't know. I think Fulham can do it. They've got
Fulham are doing well.
Palace. Also,
They
Fulham
are.
Newcastle is the last game of the season. How's that?
Wow, that's unbelievable.
What?
How's that?
Big
Exciting
game.
showdown.
I will be watching that. if
I
it's on
really
TV,
hope it's. I
100%.
really hope it's like that game is a decider. That is
Yeah.
that tight. I can
Bro,
see
that
it
would
being
be
the case.
epic. That would literally be sick.
Look at it like this. Fulham are 3 points behind, I believe. So, can I see Newcastle increasing the gap? No. So, if anything, they'll close the gap. Now, before the final day, can Fulham go ahead? It's tough. Oh no.
I think they can. I think they can. Like, I mean, if anything, I see Fulham could be safe before the last game of the season. So that last game, if it's still on, Jesus.
For the neutrals, wow,
that's crazy.
That's going to be
That's
incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Doesn't
for
happen
sure.
often. That happens. Eh?
No, not
Exactly.
that would
That'll
be
a
amazing.
mental
Yeah,
game.
that would be one.
Well, let's
thing
let's
to root
pray.
for.
Fingers crossed for that
Let's
type
all
of game.
pray.
come end of the
Interesting. So we
season.
got a 2-2 split. So, Jovan, do you stand by me that if Fulham come out, the team that are going in are Newcastle?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
there's only one.
Yeah.
team.
So
I'd
2-2
back that
split,
as well.
Fulham Newcastle. I love that. But can I just say, when Newcastle were like 14th, 15th, I always said Newcastle were
You did.
And now
I
they're
have to give it
17th.
to you, mate.
I've said it
You
early
weren't
doors.
wrong.
Roll
You
for
weren't
that.
wrong. You weren't wrong.
Right. Final question. This comes from Shakila. And she's from Newport in South Wales. So we got some fans in Wales. Love to see it.
Big up Wales. Big up South Wales.
Big up Wales. Would you do any other sports podcasts? I'm just going to kick this one off. Yeah, I'm a big basketball fan, so I would love to do basketball. As you see on this podcast, I like bringing in a lot of stats and things like that. Basketball's full of them. So, I watch First Take and The Jump on ESPN almost every day. So I would love to do a basketball podcast if I had the time, which I don't. So I'm very happy.
how much I'm into basketball
Yes,
as well,
bro.
bro. So
Yeah.
we met at a Raptors meetup, so
Exactly.
I'm down for that if you're down.
What about you, Alex?
I feel like between my two, between Footy Forum and between Female Soccer Collective, I feel like I have content overload. And I also think that if you're trying to cover, right now too, if you're trying to cover female, women's and men's football, soccer, I'm not saying that they're that different, but it's almost like doing two different podcasts, two different sport podcasts, because there's just so many different things to look at when you're looking at the difference between the sport and the teams and keeping track of standings and all that kind of stuff. So, and all the different leagues and stuff like that are happening for both. So I don't think that I could add in another sport. If I could, I would love to. I have lots of former friends from university and stuff like that are playing in the WNHL, the women's National Hockey League. So if I were to,
Is that your
branch out
second
another
sport, hockey?
Yes, it was. In terms of competitive sports, yeah.
Nice. Right, Jovan, with his crazy schedule, I already know the answer. I don't really think there's anything else he'd talk about, other than football.
Well, there's only one thing I'll talk about in terms of other sports. So obviously, my sport I love is obviously football. But to be honest with you, it's kind of weird saying this, obviously, as we're doing this. But for me, I can't even say I would be super happy with doing another sport, because football is taking too much out of me. This TFF and dealing with Morgan every single day. Oh yeah, I might just get this. So doing another podcast, so I would rather just dig a hole and jump in. So anyways, the point is, the other sport that I love is tennis. Obviously, I think tennis for me. Sometimes I always think, okay,
Tennis
what's the better
fun.
sport? Tennis or football or tennis?
Okay,
or
I have a
football?
question.
It's tough.
Will you still be as big as a tennis fan when Djokovic is done?
Great question. That's a really good question. It's a tough one, but for me, anyways, yeah, it's a really good question. I haven't thought about it that way, but one thing that I will say is
Because I think Djokovic makes a lot of Serbians passionate for tennis. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That's exactly right, and you know why? Because I feel, at least, I'm not sure how much you guys follow, but Djokovic is by far the best tennis player that has ever played tennis
Mate.
Wow.
in history.
You're a devoted fan.
Fair play. Yeah, maybe you could do a
Watch it.
podcast on the Serbian mafia. I don't know. That could be an interesting one.
That I would enjoy,
probably,
for sure.
That could be quite good. Anyway, yeah, so that wraps up the community questions. So thank you guys for submitting. Keep on submitting. We enjoy answering these.
Yeah,
Had some
we
good
love it.
discussions. So yeah, keep submitting. The link is on the Instagram bio. Well, just the what's it called? Linktree. So just
Linktree,
go on the
yeah.
Linktree. It's on the Instagram. It's on the TikTok. And there you can submit. It'll take you straight to the form. Very simple. So yeah, keep that coming. Awesome. Now is a really fun bit. Now we're going to bring on another of our followers who won our Spot the Ball quiz. If you don't already follow us on Instagram, what are you doing with your life, firstly? And secondly, go follow us. At
You're
TFF.
missing out.
Missing out big time. At TFF Media, we just ran the Spot the Ball competition. Very exciting stuff. Got down to the final two. And we had a bit of a tough one. And Elliot nudged out another, I can't remember who it was, but one of the followers. So yeah,
I think it was Shakaila.
I think it was
one of the
Shakaila, yeah,
questions.
who did question. Yeah. So without further ado, we're going to bring Elliot on now, and he is going to take on Alex in the No Name Football game. Yes, I'm so excited for this. Okay.
Elliot,
okay,
mate.
okay.
Elliot
Hey, guys.
Silva, mate. What's going on, mate?
How you doing? Yeah, I'm good. What's up?
Firstly, Elliot, welcome to the Footy Forum. Thank you for coming on. Elliot's a big follower of ours, and we appreciate the support. How did you feel when you won the competition?
I was surprised, honestly, because that last one especially, I really thought I wasn't going to be the only one to get that. So yeah, nice little surprise.
Yeah, and the one before that as well. A lot of people got that one wrong. It was what was the one, Dan? Because I remember it was
Leeds
A was the
Bolton.
right answer. Leeds Bolton, yeah, the slide
Leeds
tackle.
Bolton.
Yeah. So you just kind of thought about the direction of his foot. Is that what you were saying?
I think it was kind of like there were two options that were kind of obvious, and because I did it so late and I saw that so many people had got it wrong, I was kind of like, well, I think it's either this one or this one, and I went for the one that was kind of like less obvious, I guess.
True. Fair
Yeah,
play. Well,
lucky.
either way, you're here. Congrats. Okay, so No Name Football game. Elliot is ready. Alex better be ready. So here's how it's going to go. So I'm going to run the game. Dan's going to do the questions. Jovan is the commentator. Cool. Okay, I'm just going to keep an eye on the time. So here we go. First half of the No Name Football game. Alex versus Elliot. Here we go. Right, so Alex, goalkeeper has the ball. Jovan, confirm when Elliot has his answer in. Okay, so the answer's in. Alex, where are we going?
We are gonna go left fullback.
Wow, left back.
The ball is played, no problems to the left fullback. No problems there as Elliot presses in the middle.
Typical. Right, Alex. So wait for Elliot's
That's
answer
what I
to
was
come
gonna
in.
do.
Okay, I got it.
Yep, Alex, when you're ready. Left back has the ball. Where are we going? Are we in midfield, switching straight down the line?
Okay. Right mid.
Switch of play.
Elliot goes to press the left midfielder as Alex switches play to the right midfielder.
Lovely stuff. Right, Elliot, next answer. He's stroking his beard in thought. He is thinking.
Serious.
Answers in. Alex, where are we going?
Okay. We are gonna go striker.
I knew you were going to go.
Right
I
down the
just knew
middle.
striker. Yeah. A lot of people go. I think Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Matt Lockwood or was it I think it was Matt Lockwood did the exact same thing. Do you remember, Dan? He went to the left back. He swung it. Then he went into the striker.
So. Yeah,
He did the exact same thing.
I think so.
Dan read
I was
him.
kind of going the same. I was going the same direction that Dan went because when you did it the first time, you like just went ping pong. But
There you go. Ping pong works. Ping pong works.
Matt Lockwood
It
took the
works.
exact same route, but Dan read the striker. So has Elliot done the same? Jovan.
Unfortunately, has not done the same thing, and the ball will now go into the striker and a scoring opportunity. Time for the first question of the day.
Wow, Elliot, that is not good, mate.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
for a Spurs fan as well, you think you defended it better
exactly
than that.
like the game today. Yeah. Defense
Right.
is exactly the same.
Question for Alex. Dan, you're up, mate.
Okay, so first question. What is the record for red cards given in a single soccer game? Is it A, 10, B, 24, C, 36, or D, 11?
4 options.
I believe it's
I am gonna go 11.
She goes 11. She goes something that I would say is logical. Unfortunately, this answer is not logical. And when I
Is it
looked
gonna
up
be
this
36?
question, it's 36. So the shot goes screaming wide. And so listen to this. Every single player got sent off, plus
And the coaches?
all the technical staff of all the teams. Yes.
Why? What happened?
What year was
I have
this
no
in?
idea what happened, but
What year was
Jesus,
this in?
I mean, I wasn't at the game. I just like, how is this possible? So basically, I heard everyone got sent off.
That's pretty wild. Right, so time for Elliot to launch an attack. So,
Yeah.
Elliot, your goalkeeper has the ball. So, same again, Elliot, just type Jovan, then when it's in, we'll hear what Alex is defending.
Okay. I got the answer.
Center.
And she's not happy. She's not happy.
That's rough.
She's not happy that she missed the opportunity, and now she'll get a second chance. Well, a chance now for an interception, actually, as
That is shocking,
it is
Elliot.
red. Center back.
This debut is
Yeah,
just as bad as Dan's. Dan
Worse,
had the exact
mate,
same
worse.
shot he
Same
bent.
guy that you pressed on
It's
me.
2 debuts.
Wow, okay, so another question for Alex, a chance to intercept here.
Okay.
Right, Dan,
Okay.
you're the question master.
What was the fastest goal in World Cup history? Okay, was it A, 9.9 seconds, B, 10.8 seconds, C, 14.2 seconds, or D, 19.1 seconds?
Whew. Those are some
Chance
tight
for an
margins.
interception here. Yeah, so that's all like sprinters time.
I think it's 14.2.
All I'm doing here is just looking at the reaction of Elliot because he obviously is questioning whether he can have a chance to concede, and he will have a chance to have a second chance, you could say. The real answer is 10.8 seconds.
Right, okay, so Elliot will continue the attack. So, once Elliot
I got
gives
the
in his
answer.
answer, hopefully
I've got the answer.
got it in already. Alex, where are we going? Do you think he's gone central again? I think he's gone central again.
Why you? Oh,
We got the
I'm
answer.
gonna- Has he given his answer? I'm not gonna like
Yep.
give
Yeah.
my strategy away. Okay. I am gonna go right midfielder. I'm gonna press the right midfielder.
Pressing the right midfielder. Elliot is playing direct football, and he's trying to go straight to goal
Oh.
as he goes right down
I
the
did
middle
tell
for the
you,
central
Alex.
midfielder.
Did tell you, Alex.
You did.
Will Elliot get a goal scoring chance? Alex, where do you think he's gone? See, now you're in a tough pickle because it's like, has he gone middle again? Or has, like, now it's always a tough one when they make it through down the middle.
Let's see.
I do not envy your position, put it that way. Are you
I
like doing
am
some math
going-
calculations on there? Have you got like the scientific calculator out on that?
No, no, I'm not. I'm not giving away my strategy, but it's not
Ooh.
math.
Well, it's definitely going better than Elliot's, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
I'm gonna go.
Don't speak
I'm
too
gonna,
soon.
Scores-
Don't
scores
speak too soon
level.
here.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's-
press.
that
It
is
is
true.
true. I'm gonna press the right side.
She's typed it in the calculator. Is it right?
She keeps going down the right side. Unfortunately,
It's not.
Elliot has taken his chances and went straight down the middle again. He is trying to go for an extremely direct path to goal, and he will have his first chance of the game. Question time, Mr. Dan.
Right. Okay. So, where was the 2017 Champions League final held? Was it the Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales? Was it the B, Wembley Stadium in London, England? Or was it C, Allianz Arena in Munich, Germany?
Elliot, what are you thinking?
2017.
Can you think who the finalists were?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who the finalists were.
2017, I think, was Juve, Real Madrid.
Allianz Arena, can I say, is a gorgeous stadium. I've been there
Fabulous.
on a tour. It's a beautiful stadium.
No,
It was Juve Madrid. It was Juve Madrid. But
if only that was the question in this case.
But Cardiff was with Liverpool, no?
Final answer. What are we doing?
Cardiff.
He's gone Cardiff.
I think Cardiff.
You can see the expression on Alex Abraham's face. She knows it's gone in the back of the net, and it has. It's 1-0 to Elliot.
Wow.
And he is silenced. He has absolutely silenced the critics so far. They'll be happy with that as we continue this game.
Bravo. Nice one, Elliot. Yeah, I was...
Classic Mourinho football, that.
Because Wembley was when we had the all-German final, right? Was
Munich,
that the year
Dortmund.
before? Was that the year before?
No, that was 2014, the Munich Dortmund one was.
That long ago? Jesus.
I think so, yeah. Pretty sure.
Wow.
I was going to say, this was... They won at Cardiff.
The infamous. Now, before we jump into the second half, Elliot, we're going to do something a bit fun. We're going to have a little debate here, the five of us, see how this works. We've never done a debate with five. I don't think we've even done debates before, so this is going to be very wild. But yeah, so what we'll be debating, interesting, with all the kind of controversy with VAR and stuff, it all comes down at the end of how the referees use the technology. And what we're finding is there's been a lot of controversy with how they're interpreting VAR. So obviously, it's kind of a two-part question where A, should referees be accountable to talking about their decisions after the game in some sort of post-match interview or something, similar? Or should there be more transparency in how they make their decisions? Like, we should be able to hear their comms, hear the mic, hear the communication that's going on. So how do you guys feel? Or is it okay as it is and people need to learn to just understand that VAR is now a part of football? So I'm going to swing it to... Go on, Elliot. You talk first. How do you feel on this topic?
Sure. Yeah, I think breaking those 2 points down, I think in football in general, there's a massive problem compared to other sports where we have this this extreme divide between players and referees, and like other sports where it's kind of like referee's word goes, everyone has to just like get on with it and just walk away. We just have this problem in football where everyone disagrees. You have the ability to go up to a referee's face and argue with him. And I think it's bad for the sport. I think it's bad for sportsmanship in general. Gives football a bad name. But I understand where the aggro comes from, just in terms of decision making, especially in this country. So I think in terms of the first point, I think that kind of just it kind of reinforces that relationship where this really toxic atmosphere of like us v them, and kind of like putting referees on trial just doesn't give like good taste to the game. But the second one I fully agree with, because it's like with rugby and I mean there's a ton of other sports that use it, cricket for example, where even if we don't hear the referee's decision, at least hear the VAR studio and hear what they actually have to say and how they got to their decision. Because even if they get it wrong, it's kind of like you can't complain because you understand how they get it wrong. Like decisions aren't going to be right all the time. So it's kind of, if they get the decision wrong, which is the minority of the time, people will kind of understand where they've come from and be like, okay, this is how they've seen it. We can see why they would say that.
Yeah.
But But yeah, so I think the in-game commentary would be extremely useful because then it eliminates the whole sitting around and waiting. But what it doesn't solve as well is kind of like the in-stadium experience, which is still a massive problem with VAR because you just sit there and just watch it on a screen. So yeah, so I think just concluding, like first point, I think no. I think that's really it's really a slippery slope to making our refereeing even worse because it's like they won't even want to do it for us anymore. Whereas the second point, I think they do need to be accountable. Like we need to hear their thought process, really.
Yeah.
If they get it wrong, fine, we understand the reasoning behind it, but you know, otherwise it's too up in the air and everyone is so lost, including the players, that it is getting kind of ridiculous and frustrating at this point. And it's just it's ruining the game experience. So
for sure. Right, yeah, that's a great point. So, Yovan, I'm going to come to you next. Yovan, how do you feel? Do you agree with Elliot?
Before we go into that, I mean, prior to you speaking just now, my beliefs were the referee has to be the one that is the sole decision maker, can't be influenced by anything, can't be influenced by a team, the fans, the atmosphere. So interviewing them, there's no point for that. Because they're the decision maker. You don't have to explain your decisions to a live TV after emotion. You're going to make mistakes. But the way you basically broke your answer down better than I could ever do in this case, and you convinced me that we actually could benefit from the second part to your answer, which was listening to VAR. Because at first I'm like, we have no business even listening to that either. Because then you're creating, maybe they're going to be scared of the fans and they're going to feel, and maybe it will turn a lot of people off reffing, which another point is anyone that goes into reffing, I have a massive respect for, but I also think they're kind of crazy because it's the one job where even if you do your job 100% right and you're amazing at it, you still end up pissing off half the audience, which is
exactly
a thankless job. But
and as Elliot said, like referees in football, they get a lot more abuse than other sports. Like you couldn't name me one North American sport where they chant that the referee is a. Do you know what I mean? That just doesn't. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean that's the way it is, and I think it will probably always be like that, just because the culture. I mean, it's like that everywhere. But I think at the end of the day, you have to, if you're gonna have a game that is has objective rules, you have to have a decision maker that is not scared of having to explain himself to a massive TV company after to a set of fans. There's no time for that. No ref is gonna say, go out and say I got all these decisions wrong. Because at the end of the day, do they make mistakes? Yes, they make a lot of mistakes. Even VAR, I think VAR, it's it's a lottery. Sometimes it saves you, like it did the other week last week with Red Star. Sometimes it screws you over, and I've seen that as well. So, anyways, I like what Elliot brought up actually in the second point. It's one of the only times that I'm like, oh, you know what, you've articulated that answer better than a lot of people do. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, how do you feel?
I feel like these are all good points, and I don't think that the right after the game response and having them, press conference style, having to answer for the decisions that they were making, is necessarily, it's not fair. Like players, they can go and do that press conference after, and everyone's just kind of like, oh, people are easily able to forgive players because they're under pressure, they're having to make a decision, the game, whatever, right? And then people have this different thing where like the ref's job, they're like held to this different standard. So I think I totally agree in terms of like questioning them right after, but I think there's some value in creating some kind of like platform or some kind of show or something where refs do actually speak about decisions that are happening, because like 2019 FIFA changed a whole bunch of rules and there's a lot of people that don't know those rule changes, and they're watching the game. And, you know, we didn't even really get a full actual season with these new rules because COVID happened. So when all of these new rules were being implemented, we had this like weird season that wasn't really a season but was, and you were having teams that never do well that were thriving. And so it was just like you didn't get an actual example of how all these new rules were being implemented and like changing the flow of the game and stuff like that. And I feel like if you had some place where people could learn the new rules and understand like the objective behind it, people would be more willing to kind of understand and like cut these refs some slack. And I think that that's super important. And to your point, Elliot, on people disrespecting referees, like FIFA and football organizations have been, I feel like they've been recognizing that and trying to change that a bit, because part of their new rules is that the coaches, like they are not allowed to actually approach the ref. Like any communication is supposed to go through the captain, and they can card coaches. Like if they feel like they're out of line, they can card coaches, managers, whoever it is. And so they're trying to regulate how refs are being communicated to with those new rules. So I feel like they're recognizing that, and they're starting to put some more respect on the refs, because they deserve more respect. Because like Jovan, like you said, I could not imagine being a referee. I remember being in university, and the men's ice hockey team, the fans were ruthless at my school, and they used to dress a blow-up doll in a referee. This is awful, but they used to dress a blow-up doll in a referee outfit and like hang it by a rope like over the rink.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
graphic.
like bad, like harassing the referee, and it's like, what? Why is that necessary? You know, like if you're having to rag on the ref that bad, your team's not that good.
Yeah,
it's a good point.
Sure.
It's a good point. Because,
Yeah.
And it's gonna basically those things, like you're gonna need a ref with a lot of thick skin to not at least have that affect his decision making.
Yeah.
Those kind of environments. And it's just that's the reality of it, right?
For sure. But you know, in my opinion, I don't see why if a ref, I'm not saying every game, but if a referee is the one affecting the impact of the game, or the outcome, let's say, of the game, forget impact, the outcome of the game, why shouldn't they have to, or, you know, do it on TV as well? Why shouldn't they have to interview? A manager has to do an interview when their team loses, like Mourinho today when they lost to West Ham. Like, a player would always have to do it on the losing end, have to talk about usually to the TV. So why, if a referee is making a decision that impacts the game and is controversial, why shouldn't he have to speak?
I think Morgan, like on that point, it's risky because you're undermining the role of what a referee is. A referee in every other sport is there, including football, which has been damaged, where their word is final. It doesn't matter how it outcomes the game. The whole point is that you need a voice on the pitch that dictates how the game is, how the flow of the game happens.
Yeah, no one's out there to call him out, though.
If you're questioning the referee,
why does he have to talk then?
You're totally questioning their what's the word? Their reliability, their, you know, how much we should actually trust them. And it goes the same with the entire.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, right. The biggest problem for me is not necessarily that, oh, not every decision's right, but like, what are they thinking? I just want to know what the thinking was, because they didn't go ip dip do eeny miny mo. Do you know what I mean? They made the decision based on whatever they had available to hand. So I just want to know what they were looking at that determined why they made that decision. So, like, for example, let's think the Souček red card, right? When right at the end of the game, when he went to lift his arm over and his elbow caught the player. Clearly accidental, no intent. So that is not serious foul play. There's no intent there. In my eyes, again, the thing about football, it's very grey lined, right? Very often with these decisions, especially with VAR now, it could go either way. But how the referee determines it is final, as you said. But I would still like to know how they came to their decision. So with the Souček red card, how has he decided that is dangerous play, him accidentally elbowing him through lifting his arm and trying to just move out the way? I just want to know the thinking. So why shouldn't they have to do a post-game interview to explain it? I'm not saying every game, and also sometimes it won't be on TV.
I think that the VAR has slowed the game down enough to the point where, I mean, I'm happy with the VAR and how it's being used and that, but I think that post-game interviews are a bit too far. I think maybe explaining their decision on the pitch in real time next to the monitor or whatever is perfect, but post-match interviews it's a waste of time. I just don't think it's a necessary component.
They did make a mistake in the subject. They obviously made a mistake. So you're not going to. There's no justification. Oh no, he actually did. I was there. He told me. No, he obviously made a mistake. Yeah. So you're asking questions that you already know the answer to. It's not like he's going to come and say. Exactly. He's not going to go in front of Sky Sports and say, "Hey, I made a mistake." He's not going to say that. No, but the point is,
when he made this, when he made the decision, he didn't go, "Oh, let's make a mistake here." At the time,
well, you know what he's going to say? He's like, I saw that he made contact and he elbowed in the face. He's not going to say, I saw Mickey Mouse.
It's pretty straightforward as to what they're going to say. I just don't think an interview post-match is necessary.
I completely disagree. I completely disagree. What about the one where it was the Aston Villa game where versus Man City, where he chested the ball, the guy came back from the offside position, and they let the goal. Man City scored the goal, which changed the complete outcome of the game because it was 0-0 at that point, and he was completely offside because the player touched the ball, even though the Villa player hadn't got it under control yet. Because he touched the ball, they allowed the goal to stand. But then, in reflection, they said actually the goal shouldn't have counted. But I would have liked to know his thinking as to why he let it stand. That's my point.
But then the post-match interview is not going to change the decision. He's made the decision in that moment, whether he explains whether it was a mistake or not.
I think quite often if they explain the reason behind it, and like Alex kind of said, maybe explain what application of the rule they use to make that decision, I reckon there could be a lot more. Because all I see is like BT Sport or Sky Sports Studio just like spending 20 minutes saying why they thought this decision went this. But like, just speak to the dude that made the flipping decision. That's just how I look at it.
This is why that kind of in-game commentary I think would be much more beneficial, because like Jovan said, if a decision has happened, you know what that answer is during the game. There's no, you know what the answer they're going to say is. But if during the game it's like cricket or rugby, where you hear on VAR, they say, ref, we've noticed he's come from an offside position, he's touched the ball, please take a look at it. And as the ref is watching it, we're hearing, oh, I think he's onside because he's not interfering with play. Bang, that's your answer.
Exactly.
There's no discussion. Like, even if you think it's wrong, like if he says, "Oh, it looks like Souček has undeniably hit him with an arm or whatever," then that's you know. And even if that's the wrong answer, then we know, and we can just say that. And that's probably a good way for the FA to be able to regulate refereeing and see, this mistake's happening too much.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what I don't. There's nothing that they're talking about that like can't be picked up on the mic. Like Mike Dean's not like, "Oh, you should try playing in this boner right now." Do you know what I mean? Like they're not talking about like that. They're just talking about what the decision they're going to make. So there's no reason why it shouldn't be out on comms.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
so
the
that's
sound
settled.
of the commentary. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Well, before Elliot goes, let's finish off this game. Second half of the No Name Football game. So, Alex, goalkeeper, has the ball. 1-0 to Elliot. Can Alex come back? Alex, as Team TFF, we are supporting you. So,
thank you.
So you gotta, you're off to a good start.
I'm supporting you too, obviously, but I think obviously I'm supporting both. You have to support both.
Nice,
no, you're supporting Team TFF. I mean, technically,
how can you bring guests on and not support them too? You're shocking.
It's reflective of how I actually was on the pitch. I get it all the way up the
Alex's
field,
debut.
and then that clinical finish is just questionable.
Show us the resilience. Show us the resilience coming back from 1-0.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, Elliot, is your answer in?
Yeah.
Sweet. Alex, where are we going first?
Right back.
Oh. Well, Elliot chooses to press right up the middle, and the ball will go to the right back. No problems there as she looks to create the attack now.
Good start, Alex.
Come on.
Nice.
Right, answers in. Alex, where are we going next?
Left mid.
Switch of play.
Cool, calm and collected Elliot has done the homework and the analysis and was obviously watching the switch. And the switch went on and he covered it no problem. So a chance for an interception as he did press the left midfielder.
Okay.
Dan.
Okay. How many English managers have won the Premier League? A, 3, B, 6, or C, 0?
I'm going to say 3 because I can't think of 6. So,
But you can think of 3.
I can't. No, I'm saying I can't even think of 3. So I'm not going to go for 6 if I.
That makes sense. Yeah, true.
I understand. Well, if you can't think of 6, and you can't even think of 3, because I can't think of 3, the answer must be 0, and the answer is 0. As Alex retains possession because the Premier League started in, was it 1992? Am I correct?
2, 3. Yeah, 92,
Yeah,
93.
So no English manager has ever won it. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson, obviously being British manager from Scotland, he's won it handful
But
of times.
no English manager has ever won
manager.
it. So interestingly enough, the last English manager to win the top flight was Howard Wilkinson in 91-92, the season before it became the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tricky question.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Ball is with the left midfielder. Alex looks to equalise here in the late moments in the match. Okay. Answer is in.
Right. Alex, where are we going?
I'm going for the dramatic switch to the right side.
Another ping pong.
Call it ping
Yeah.
pong.
My tactic.
Call it what you want.
Yeah.
And Elliot now will look with a little bit of concern as the ball is played to the right winger.
Okay, chance for equaliser here.
Okay. I hope this is a question that is aimed. Which 2 countries participated in the first international soccer match? A, Germany and France. B, Germany and Scotland. C, Scotland and England. Or D, France and England.
Okay, can you go over that?
I know
again?
what I'd go for. You're always
go
going to have some
Scotland
doubt.
first.
Just go with your gut.
Yeah,
Scotland,
we'll just go
England.
Scotland, England. I think it's France and England now that I've said it, but Scotland, England.
Scotland, England, final answer.
Do you want to
With
lock
that-
it in, Alex? Are we going to lock in Scotland, England, or are we going to switch? Final chance.
We'll switch.
Switch. I would have said Scotland, England, so I don't know if I'm right. That's just what I would
So
have
wait,
said.
so what's your final answer? Just so I'm confused.
France,
now.
England, locked in.
Jesus.
Is that bad?
Looks to chip the keeper and hits the crossbar and will go out.
It was
the answer
Scotland,
was
England.
Scotland, England.
No.
I should have just trusted myself.
Alex! You should
Team
always trust
TFF.
yourself.
Jeez.
Oh, she had it.
You guys are
Maybe a
dropping
chance
life
for one more
lessons
play
here.
here.
Yeah, I would have
Sure.
said Scotland, England, that tracks. Well, that's where football originated, right? That's why I would have said that.
Well, that's what I
Exactly.
thought, but then I thought, I don't know, are we going like...
So, what we have to do
But-
here, we have to intercept the ball here, Alex. If we're going to have a chance to
Yeah.
equalise this match, otherwise Elliot's going to run away with a win. So,
Okay.
let's see. Final part of the match before full time. So, Elliot's goalkeeper has the ball. I believe the answer's in. If my ear picked up correctly, is that true?
VAR says that's true.
Yeah, VAR says it's in. The answer is in. Alex, where are we defending first? It's getting to our head.
It is. I want to say like center. Mr. Vanilla's going center, but we'll go push right side.
Mr. Vanilla. Fair play. Wow, Mr. Vanilla.
you know.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Okay. This is what's up.
Well, cool, calm, and collected. Ellie will go to the left fullback, no problems there. We move on.
I feel like this is heated now. I feel like this is a rivalry now.
Elliot.
Yeah, I
Elliot's
feel like
gonna
we're
win.
starting a little.
Honestly,
This is a rival game now.
Down is bullshit.
Right, answers in from Vanilla Face.
No,
Alex.
no disrespect. Okay. All right, left side.
The mind games.
We're gonna go. Yeah, I don't know. Left
We're
wing.
gonna stick with my tactic.
Oh,
Left mid.
going
Left
down,
wing.
staying down the left mid, staying
Keeping
down
it
the
down
left
the
side.
left.
Alex reckons the left midfielder. Elliot reckons a switch and goes to the right midfielder.
Oh, mind games.
Here we go.
Okay, so right mid, answers in. Is that correct? Or coming in?
Yep. Let's take this. The answer is in.
Answers in.
Nice. Alex, where are we going?
Typing in the calculator.
It is kicking off here.
The computer's
Oh
there.
my. We started a
Yeah.
rivalry. Jeez.
Texas Instruments over here. Center.
Pressing center.
Oh,
Central.
No, come on.
Elliot reckons just nip it down the right flank to the right winger. A scoring chance now. Right winger has a chance to score.
My
Wow.
God.
To put the game to bed. To put the game to bed.
Okay.
After a poor start, can Elliot put the game to bed here?
Okay. How many wins did Derby County record during the 2007 to 2008 season? Was it A, big fat 0? Was it B, 1? Or C, 4?
Whew.
It's a
That is
toughie.
a toughie. That is a toughie.
That was the worst Premier League.
You are correct.
Yeah.
It was one of
Yeah.
the worst
Was
season,
it-
I think.
Unless
in Premier
Sheffield
League.
Zero.
United do worse.
Was it 0?
Could be.
Can't be 0, surely.
Four.
It was the worst in history, remember that.
Was the worst in history. Surely you're not going to do 2 answers with 0 in a row.
Or would we? Would we?
Or
Elliot?
would we?
Would we?
Or
Is
would
the
we?
question.
Forum. Would we?
That's the question.
What are you saying, Vanilla Face?
Come on, Vanilla.
I'm going to go for 1. 1 win.
Game, set, match, Mr. Elliot Silver. 2-0.
He scored.
Tucks in the bottom
Wow.
corner. I would have said 1 as well, yeah.
Wow. Good fair. Good
I feel,
game
like,
to
I
be
feel like
fair.
I would have known if it was 0, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you. That's
Like,
something
you
you would
know-
you would
Yeah.
know. Yeah, no, I
know
get
a
you.
team has got 0 wins.
1 win is still pretty shocking, though. To be
That's
fair,
not-
1
that's
win,
so
So shocking. That is
That's so poor.
man.
Wow,
Well-
impressive.
Let's just
Well,
get
I'd still shake your
where's
hand
the
at
ref in
end
this
of
game?
that.
What do you mean?
Let's-
Where's the ref?
Yeah, GG.
let's interview the 2 teams and the ref, as Morgan likes to think that we should be interviewing the ref. But first, Alex, obviously it's off day out there. You had your chances. Unfortunately, it just didn't go for you today. What's your thoughts following the match?
I think moving forward, we got to collect as a group and just kind of instill some confidence in the squad.
Yeah.
We've put in the work. We just got to be able to trust ourselves. We're on the pitch.
Yeah, trust for sure.
Yeah.
Team TFF is going to bounce back. I'm positive.
Yeah.
We'll give it
Like
another
a true
crack.
modern coach, that's for sure. Elliot Silva from BBC Sports. Obviously, you had a tough start to the game, looked under pressure, but you managed to come through with 2 goals, one in the first half, one in the second half. What is your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, no, very immersive. I thought started off a bit rough. Pressure was getting to me. Got a little bit worried with Alex going straight for goal. But then just remembered, go back to your roots, play vanilla football, and always come down.
The vanilla football came on top.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
Oh, brilliant.
Elliot,
No, I loved
fantastic performance. Actually, that's our best performance yet because no one has ever won a no-name football game by 2 goals. We've only had
Brilliant.
1 goal
Historic.
winning, so
Elliot
straight up to
Silva,
top
historic.
of the leaderboard. Better than any
Historic.
guest. Impressive. Well
Very
played.
impressive.
Love that.
Elliot, thanks for joining us.
Cheers,
thank
mate.
you for tuning into the Footy Forum. Thank you for staying active as always. And if you want to be on our podcast, just like Elliot was today, just make sure you take part in our competitions. They'll always be announced on our story. So make sure you keep an eye out. And if you win, you can be on here exactly like Elliot. So
making history, just like Elliot Silva's done today.
Making history. You even pick up nicknames. So now forever Elliot is Vanilla Face. So
Vanilla
look
Face.
at that. Look at
Oh,
that.
3 points though. With 3 points though.
Yeah, with 3 points. With 3 points.
3 points for the. We'll have to have him back on to face Alex in a rerun of the derby.
Oh my god, this rivalry.
Yeah.
This rivalry, you bet there's going to be a reverse fixture. You bet.
Exactly,
You
bro.
bet.
Exactly.
This
Yeah,
has been
well-
another episode of TFF. Obviously,
It has.
another interesting conversations. But in the end of the day, something that is always consistent throughout every single episode we do is the nonsense that we have to put up with that Morgan, whether it's 20 points.
Morgan Leisure's nonsense is a regular
Have I got,
feature on
like-
TFF.
Is there something wrong with my camera? Is there a target on my face or something? Like, I don't
Or-
understand.
Yeah,
That
there is. Is it a
rest-
No one
filter?
can
Can
actually
you?
see you.
Yeah.
Get some rest,
Okay.
mate. Get some rest, Morgan.
Yeah, get some good needed
See
rest,
you
mate,
next
and come
week.
back with a sense.
Right, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This has been the Footy
Cheers,
Forum.
guys.
Take care. Have a good night, morning,
Peace.
evening, wherever you are. See ya.
See you guys.